now. Forever. Together.
And you are looking live at the wonderful new Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. A stone's throw from LAX Airport. Capacity crowd beginning to file in for a night that will change the lives of two very lucky superstars. This is Money in the Bank. And this is the countdown show for Money in the Bank, presented tonight by Cricket. For the third straight year, ladies and gentlemen, this superstar from Friday Night SmackDown looks to win Money in the Bank. LA Knight in a stacked field, which includes the man who has captured the imagination of the world. The sensational Penta looks to capture his very first Money in the Bank. From Friday Night SmackDown, El Idolo Andrade enters the Money in the Bank match for a third time in his career. Can Andrade shock the planet tonight? And we're going to debate this dude's identity a bit later on, but El Grande Americano beat AJ Styles and CM Punk Monday night, albeit in a controversial manner, but it still counts, and Americano is in Money in the Bank, as is this man, Solo Sikoa, who has main evented the last two Money in the Bank premium live events, first time ever, though, in the ladder match tonight. And in 2014, Seth freaking Rollins won the Money in the Bank. 11 years later, he looks to do it again. This time, power, absolute power on his mind. Hello again, everybody. I'm Michael Cole, and welcome to Inglewood, California for the Money in the Bank Countdown Show. WWE fans are jacked to this event tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me here, none other than the man who, well, back in 2021, won the Money in the Bank contract. He would go in to cash in and become a world champion. Big E is here tonight.
Yes, sir. Michael, in the words of Murs, the incredible rapper Murs, LA, Southern California, fool the West Coast, where everybody is somebody.
Also joining us tonight, the man who's been in two Money in the Bank contract ladder matches, not able to pick up the win, but he has the experience. A five-time Intercontinental Champion, Wade Barrett.
Big cheer for Wade Barrett. What a shock. And on the subject of rap, Inglewood, always up to no good. I can do it too, Big E, yeah. We're going to have a wild night tonight here in Los Angeles, yeah.
And we are also joined by a man who every time he opens his mouth puts money in his bank.
Amen.
None other than Pat McAfee.
Hello. It is an honor to be here. I was actually smoking with Snoop Dogg earlier today for the West Coast references, and it's an honor to be here. Money in the Bank. We were just chit-chatting about this before we go on the air. Tonight, two superstars punch their ticket to hold the entire company hostage with a briefcase to become a world champion whenever the hell they deem. And that's why tonight in LA, we got magic in store.
Yeah, in just a couple of moments, so I'm going to get Big E's thoughts and talk to him about how he changed his life and altered his career by winning Money in the Bank. But Wade, you never had the opportunity to win, but what an opportunity to just be in the match.
I had an opportunity to win. I just failed miserably at capitalizing on that opportunity. But yeah, I'll agree. Certain superstars are going to fast-track their career tonight. And what I'm really excited about, we've got some former world champions in the matches. We've got some of these brand-new superstars to Raw and SmackDown, such as Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and they can really get themselves to that main event tier in year one at Raw and SmackDown.
Well, let's show everybody what they're going to get tonight at Money in the Bank here live at Intuit Dome. Also, tonight, the Women's Intercontinental Championship is up for grabs. Lyra Valkyria defended against Becky Lynch. If Becky wins, Lyra's got to raise Becky's hand. If Becky loses, she never gets an opportunity at the title as long as Lyra is champion. 6 women, 3 from Monday Night Raw, 3 from Friday Night SmackDown, an opportunity to change their entire life and win Money in the Bank. Who will shock the world? Who will grab the contract at tonight's Money in the Bank? On the men's side of things, 3 men from Monday Night Raw, 3 from Friday Night SmackDown. A couple of newcomers in this match as well, and a wild card known as El Grande Americano. We'll discuss this in just a few moments. A match that came about earlier today at our Worlds Collide event across the parking lot at Kia Forum. Dominic Mysterio is going to defend his Intercontinental Championship against Octagon Jr. here live tonight. And our main event, a massive, a mega tag team matchup. You've got the World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso teaming with Cody Rhodes to take on the WWE Champion John Cena and Logan Paul here live tonight. We've got reporters everywhere in Los Angeles, including our own Kathy Kelly.
Yes, Peter Rosenberg, Kathy Kelly, backstage here at Money in the Bank, hanging out with some of the true stars of the night.
Oh,
The
these
ladders.
guys, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously they will play a major factor in what happens tonight. And let's start with the men's match. All eyes seem to be on Seth Rollins, and the fact that a win of that briefcase could basically assure him a championship when you think about how strong the team is that he's assembled. But as much as we focus on Seth Rollins, Kathy, I don't think we can go to sleep on Penta, a guy who has stated he is the most dangerous man in a ladder match in the world today. And Kathy, I think that's a reasonable claim.
Yeah, I think Seth Rollins absolutely a front runner. He is synonymous with the Money in the Bank briefcase. But we have to talk about the women because that match to me is so unpredictable. It's not just because I'm unbiased, but there are 6 women in this that any single one of them could walk away with that briefcase. You have Mommy, who could be on top of the ladder. You have Naomi, who, if she wins, the entire women's locker room should proceed with caution. You have Alexa Bliss, who could carry it again. And then you have 3 newcomers in Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Vaquer, and Julia, who are all very young and hungry. So I got to ask, who do you think is going to take it home?
Honestly, I'm going with momentum. And when you look at the last several weeks, I think Roxanne Perez has been one of the hottest stars in WWE. It's sort of like Tyrese Halliburton in the NBA playoffs. She just seems to be in that zone. So I'm going to go with young Roxanne.
Okay. What do you guys think? Who do you think is taking it home?
Well, Kathy, we're going to get into it now. Let's start with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. 76% of the time, when you cash in the contract, you'll win a world title. Big E, my man, 2021, won Money in the Bank, and then you cashed in. How did that moment change everything for you?
Drastically changed my life. I spent most of my career, obviously, in a tag team with the New Day, but I think the... Thank you. They're far too kind, far too kind. I appreciate you guys. I think the incredible thing about the Money in the Bank, that opportunity, is it takes you from that middle of the pack, from the mid-card. It allowed me to skip the line. I went from a mid-carder to a world champion overnight. And it's one of those things that can allow you to just skyrocket your career. So I look at the field, and I think there are a lot of people. I think of a guy like Andrade, who has been so incredibly talented time and time again. We're not probably going to spend a lot of time talking about him. We probably should, because he's incredible in these kinds of matches. But you can go from kind of a middle-of-the-pack kind of career to being skyrocketed to the very top of the card.
You know, Wade, we heard Peter mention that Penta believes he is the best in the world when it comes to ladder matches. However, Penta has never had a ladder match in WWE, and he's never been in a ladder match with the stakes like Money in the Bank. So that's a pretty bold statement to make when you go out for the first time here tonight.
Yeah, a huge amount of pressure on everyone in the match. I think Penta has shown over the past several months that when it comes to pressure, no problem whatsoever. What Penta is not used to is the different personalities and abilities that are in this kind of match. He's not exclusively competing against luchadors like he has historically in his career. He's got some big lads in there, such as Solo Sikoa, who is a devastating machine.
So, Pat, let's talk about Seth Rollins, because if Seth wins tonight, he's in the driver's seat. We've seen him form this faction on Monday Night Raw. He won back in 2014. If Seth wins, the landscape changes across WWE.
Yeah, he is a revolutionary. He is a visionary. He is Seth. And he's done all of that to form this power group with Paul Heyman, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and they've run roughshod over the Monday Night Raw entire roster and last night on SmackDown. So you obviously have to worry about Seth freaking Rollins. But how about L.A.? Yeah! He should feel good here in L.A. There's a chance he's going to be fantastic. Obviously, Andrade is wildly talented, but the man we need to talk about that has not been mentioned enough, El Grande Americano, has been built for the Money in the Bank briefcase. He's wild. We don't know much about him. He could get to the top of that ladder and change the trajectory of the entire industry, Michael Cole.
The problem with this is Chad Gable has already worked a match earlier at Worlds Collide, so he's going to be doing double duty tonight. Let's talk about
different people.
Let's talk about the
conspiracies.
Let's talk about the women's side of things here. A very unique field. You've got Rhea Ripley, who's never been in a ladder match never been in a ladder match in her entire career. Naomi will tie for the most Money in the Bank contract ladder matches ever. Alexa Bliss, who in 2018 won and cashed in on the same night. And then you got 3 newcomers, Julia, Stephanie, and Roxanne Perez. Big E, who wins this thing?
Look, if I put my money on anyone, I think this is Naomi's year. She is focused. I think she is someone who is tired of patiently waiting in line. This is an opportunity that she is going to grab tonight. Initially, I had there's a lot of momentum behind Stephanie, but she's also someone who is working double duty tonight. There's Julia as well, but if I had to bet on anyone, it would be Naomi.
Wade, what do you think?
It's all about the big moments in a match like Money in the Bank ladder match. And let me just do a quick straw poll here. Does anybody here want to see Stephanie Vaquer do the bouncy move? Yeah, we do.
It's called the Devil's Kiss. It has a name.
The Devil's Kiss. If we see it against 5 opponents tonight, LA is going into meltdown. I think it's Vaquer's night.
I think Booker T just got a little bit of a shout out here in Los Angeles, as he should. Stephanie Vaquer has been a rocket ship since she got to Monday Night Raw, to the WWE as a whole, an absolute prodigy. Speaking of, Roxanne Perez only does great things here in the business. Julia could be a wild card. But are we just going to not talk about Mommy being in Money in the Bank?
She's never been in a ladder match, though. Does that matter?
To a degree, experience matters, but I had never really been in. I had a few ladder matches, but it was my first singles as far as the Money in the Bank was concerned. I don't think that's going to be an issue for her here tonight.
Pat?
Mommy's the real deal. I mean, any match she is in, you have to think she's the favorite. That is why every arena she walks into, the roof no longer exists after her music plays. Mommy is a future Hall of Famer for good reason, but obviously 6 different people in the match. Mommy's not one-on-one. We shall see how they eliminate her, which is probably everybody else's idea.
And I'll tell you right now, Michael Cole, before we move on, Mommy in the Bank is going to shift a lot of T-shirts. So if you need a motivator, cha-ching!
Merch.
And again, let's remember what is at stake in both these matches. You climb a ladder, you grab the briefcase. Inside a contract that you can cash in any time you want for a world championship. Change your career here tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, plenty more to come.
Change the power of the entire industry.
Especially if you're Seth Rollins. Plenty more to come here from Inglewood, California. This is the Money in the Bank Countdown Show, live outside the Intuit Dome.
Okay.
Stephanie Vaquer joins forces with Lola Vice to battle Lucha Royalty and Dalis y Chic Tormenta. Stephanie Vaquer and Dalis certainly no strangers to one another.
Dalis was in her first match, so she's her madrina, and they have a lot of unfinished business.
But wait a minute! Devil's Kiss is in stereo!
Oh, double!
Double!
I like this. Oh, I like this.
Lola Vice to the outside. SBB! La Primera hooks both legs.
Wow. The student beat the teacher.
But the question does remain. What sort of condition is Vaquer going to be in tonight?
Oh my gosh, what's happening?
Yeah, we're
what's
struggling.
Happening?
We're struggling and it's
Everyone's
scary.
getting ladders. Oh.
Bam. Io used to beat the hell out of me in Japan.
Really?
Yeah. She was so good. I mean, she's still good, but she was so, like, badass.
Yeah, she's so badass.
I know, she's scary.
She's scary.
Hey, whoa. Oh.
Oh, damn.
My gosh. How's the nose? Yep.
I remember this. Mm-hmm. Right to my face.
It's all coming back. Oh, how did that feel?
Not good. I made sure to
try to cover.
Yeah, not this.
Oh my gosh. It's funny, like, because I haven't watched this back, I am watching again as a fan, but then things are like reminding me, like, oh, I remember that moment. I remember the sound that the crowd made when that happened. Ooh! That has to take her out for the rest of the match. That's insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. I feel like this is the sequence that led to kind of everyone's downfall in this match.
Everyone, Chelsea!
Oh,
Get
she's
her.
back. She's, snatch that
Smack
little
her
girl.
right in the booty.
Bam. Yeah.
It's a big target.
I punched that big butt. Okay, I remember
She went
this.
another way.
I remember this. Nope, she's coming back down.
Are you gonna hit the I'm prettier?
Yep, I sure am. But I'm nervous. But I'm nervous. The fear in my
There's a lot
eye.
of room for error. I
Right?
will say that.
The fear in my eyes.
Oh. And I'm prettier, baby.
But like I kind of went off the side because I was a little scared.
okay.
Because right before I went out, one of the boys said, what if you do that and you ricochet off and out of the ring? And I got scared. I thought, wait, that's kind of like, that could happen. Like, I don't know.
Honestly, that'd be like a big moment.
Right?
That'd be cool.
I mean, actually, yeah, it would have.
Oh my gosh, they did get really close.
Whoa, I did not know this. What are they going to do?
What song's always face?
Face paint, probably.
Oh.
Yeah. I think. I don't know.
Oh.
Oh, look at the. What are they doing?
Suplex?
What are they doing?
Suplex?
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Leaving your feet while you're that high up that's so scary. Well, it could never be me, but.
No way.
No way. Oh! And then, yeah, she literally stood up.
Is she okay?
I mean, I think that must be it for her.
Oh my god.
No.
I'm not even flexible enough to do that.
Yeah, my knees would. Oh!
Chelsea! Yes!
Bye!
Capitalizing!
Bye! Yep.
Oh my god.
And look at the fans.
It is your time,
The
Chelsea!
fans! The Canadian fans!
It's your time!
Oh my gosh! The two people in the front row think this is it.
Holy crap, you're
Whoa.
so close. Oh my gosh, you're literally unclipping. Oh, who's there?
Who is it? No, don't you dare, you
It's
cute
Fiddle
little tippy time! Oh, look, I
What am I
said no.
doing?
I said nope. Oh my.
So sorry. I hope you can forgive me.
But look at this moment.
Toodles!
Yeah, that was mean. That last little toodles was mean.
This is Money in the Bank, the ladder match. Someone will scale the ladder, someone will grab the briefcase, and one of these men will change their lives forever. Oh no, oh God, it is time, Seth. Uh-oh, can this be the night Big E changes his career?
We all wanna go big.
What is happening?
Big E is cashing in his Money in the Bank contract.
It's official. Are we gonna see it? Big ending. Will we have a new champion? We do.
Can you believe it? Big E laid it out for the world to hear. I am coming for the WWE champion. Well, mission accomplished. You are looking at your new WWE champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live in Los Angeles, California. Dome throws away from LAX Airport at the Intuit Dome tonight for Money in the Bank in a massive main event tag team matchup where the World Heavyweight Champion main event Jey Uso teams with Cody Rhodes in his first match since WrestleMania against the WWE's undisputed champion John Cena and social media megastar Logan Paul.
After WrestleMania 41, I thought about John Cena doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He forced me to make a choice, and I hesitated.
Winners write history. I am going to ruin wrestling for everyone because this is what the last real champion looks like. The last real champion.
The World Heavyweight Champion is now in your city. I'ma show up, put the work in like I always have. And if y'all are excited to have Jey Uso as the World Heavyweight Champ, let me hear you say, yes!
Jey Uso. Wouldn't it be something if I take this championship home with me, and that championship is around the waist of a YouTuber? That would almost ruin wrestling.
Jey from up top, broad splash connecting. Oh, Cena pulled the official out of the ring, and now he's assaulting Jey Uso. Cody Rhodes is back for the first time since WrestleMania. Uso retains.
If it isn't professional wrestling's biggest wannabes.
He is the last real champion. I am the inevitable face of this company. Boys, if you want some, come get some. We can handle this right now. Ooh. Where are you headed? Are you gonna go back there and polish his Peacemaker? You've ruined enough. We'll see you at Money in the Bank.
Winners write the history books. Your dream of what the WWE is will be ruined. Take a good look. This is your future.
Megan Morant and Sam Roberts backstage here at the Intuit Dome, where there is a considerable amount of tension, and you could feel it in the air. Sam, it's all centered around this tag team match. What makes this particular match so tense?
For me, I think this tension can be attributed to the fact that this is, I think, more than a showdown, as Cody Rhodes put it, more than a yeet down, as Jey Uso put it. I think that this match involves two teams that have very distinctly different views of what the future of the entire WWE is. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso worked for years and years and years to get to the point where they're at now. All of it to potentially be taken away by a guy like Logan Paul that John Cena has put on this pedestal. I think that people realize that if the wrong team wins tonight, that the WWE may start to look more and more different as time goes on.
Well, Sam, there's been a lot of discussions about John Cena, Logan Paul, the World Heavyweight Champion, Jey Uso, obviously Cody Rhodes' return, but who is this match biggest for?
That's a great question. I think that some would say it's biggest for Logan Paul because of who he's surrounded by, but I don't think so. I think tonight is an absolute must-win for the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Not just because if Cody Rhodes doesn't win, then it kind of leaves him hopeless in terms of getting back to the WWE Championship, but also because for us who don't want what John Cena and Logan Paul want, it leaves us hopeless. What if John Cena is right? What if there is no savior for the WWE? We will break it all down after the show on the Money in the Bank recap podcast, Megan, but I would love to hear what you guys on the panel think.
Well, thanks, Megan, and thanks to our buddy Pat, the Lord of the Marks, Sam Roberts. Wait, what is going on? Like, are you going to be professional and put your suit jacket back on, or
Okay,
what?
yeah, I will
I
accept.
think you look good.
It's a new personal worst of 12 minutes with the jacket on. It is blazing hot. It's not quite as hot as Bakersfield at SmackDown last night, but it is still too damn hot for this English.
So let's talk about blazing hot. Let's talk about our massive tag team main event. I want to start with the Cody Rhodes side of things. Sam Roberts called it a must-win for Cody. It's Cody's first match since losing the championship at WrestleMania to John Cena. How big is this for Cody tonight?
I couldn't agree more with Sam. For lack of a better word, at WrestleMania, we saw Cody get hoed out, essentially. Travis Scott comes down, takes 25 minutes to come to the ring. We see Cody be very quickly dispatched by John Cena after that. Look, Cody needs desperately to regain that momentum. The way he's perceived as a top talent as someone who is going to get back to the world title, a lot of that hinges on what tonight looks like. I think Jay will be fine, win or lose. I think Cena will as well. I think this also has a lot of implications for where Logan is on the stratosphere of WWE. But I think for Cody Rhodes, this match means the most to him. He desperately needs to win tonight.
So, Pat, you and I have been following the Jey Uso situation, of course, on Monday Night Raw. He beat Gunther at WrestleMania, tapped out Gunther to win the world title. But for the past 2 months, Jey Uso has been run ragged. Saturday night's main event, defended against Logan Paul. This past Monday, he got split in half. He injured his ribs, from what we understand, at the hands of Seth Rollins and company. Now he's got a tag match in the main event tonight. And in 48 hours, he takes on Gunther for the world title on Monday Night Raw. Can Jey Uso get through this patch and survive with a championship come Monday?
He's been able to prove that he's supposed to be a world champion. He's supposed to be in the shoes that he is currently in. He's supposed to have the crown on his head, but if you look at his teammate, Cody Rhodes is now refreshed, I think. You talk about it being his first match. I think once you lose the title, you get a chance to reflect, refresh, kind of become a different person. And I think this is a great teaming. I think this is a great combination of people. I think they're going to come together in a beautiful way. John Cena and Logan Paul, though, they're willing to do anything to win. And I know Cody said he'll pull the trigger next time. It's like John and Logan will pull the trigger every time. And I think that's why tonight's main event is going to be must-watch.
And Cody and Jay are former tag team champions. Let's not forget that. Now, Wade, over on Friday Night SmackDown, John Cena has been very clear that during this retirement tour, he wants to retire with a championship, and he also wants to ruin professional wrestling. And what a better way to ruin professional wrestling than to bring up the social media megastar to his pedestal.
Yeah, well, that was clearly the game plan at Saturday night's main event, was to take the World Championship off Jey Uso, putting it onto Logan Paul, which would be every purist's worst nightmare. Look, the stated plans of John Cena are clear. Nothing has changed for John Cena since Elimination Chamber. What has changed with Cody Rhodes is he is now accepting, look, to beat John Cena, I need to stoop to his level. Great words, and I agree with Cody. I would argue that last night on SmackDown, he got outthought once again by John Cena and Logan Paul. Jay, Cody got dropped, brass knucks, they got sneak attack. More of that is coming tonight, and Cody and Jay have better be ready.
And Jay's in rough shape, as we mentioned before, but for Logan Paul, Big E, this is a big moment. He's in the ring with Cena, Cody, and Jey Uso. Incredible moment for Logan Paul, who's impressed everyone since coming to WWE.
Well, I think Logan is at this kind of pivotal moment where we're kind of trying to figure out, is he someone who is an attraction that we see from time to time, or is he someone that is going to truly carry this company? Is he someone who's going to be a multi-time world champion? And I think tonight will really tell us what direction his career is going to be in, because I think he has shown the ability to be a multi-time world champion. As much as that pains me to say, he has the ability to be there, but I think tonight will really tell us where that direction is headed.
Yeah, I'd argue that Logan Paul doesn't want to put this industry on his shoulders. He doesn't want to be the leader. He is just a mercenary. He wants all the attention that comes with being the world champion and being at the top of this game.
And
if you
ask Logan, he would say he's exactly where he's supposed to be. He has the utmost confidence in himself. He works his ass off, has a ring at his house. He's fully committed to becoming one of the greatest of all time. That's his eyes. That's his vision. That's his words. Now he gets a chance to team up with John Cena. Think about the osmosis of knowledge between those two.
But Pat, what does a victory for Cena and Logan Paul mean to WWE overall if they win tonight?
I think to Cena and Logan Paul, it means that everything they're saying is the exact truth. Listen, we are the business. The business is better because of us. And when we leave, you're going to be in a worse spot than you're in now. Nobody has respected John Cena in John Cena's eyes. It's been a toxic relationship. He's become the GOAT. Logan wants to do the same. I think it's bad news for the WWE Universe if they win, but for John and Logan, they'll say, we told you so.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a raucous crowd behind us tonight. Line
it's hot.
Intuit Dome as we roll on with our Money in the Bank countdown show. Coming up, still to come here tonight, Lyra Valkyria, the Women's Intercontinental Champion. Very impressive sit-down interview. But right now, let's take us back to Money in the Bank from 2022.
The following is the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Only time will tell which one of these ladies will earn the right to call themselves Miss Money in the Bank.
It is extremely crowded atop the ladder. Oh!
And now we got a race between Morgan and Lynch.
Morgan all alone at the top. Miss Money in the Bank.
Career-altering elation.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? It's Liv Morgan, Miss Money in the Bank, coming to the ring. She's dashing in, Cole. Liv Morgan, who just a couple of hours ago won the contract. Holy hell! Roll up, Liv did it. Liv the champion, Liv the champion.
Never lose with a strong desire. Only way to go up, go higher. Any day I walk through the fire. Let's go. La 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 la, let it burn. Let's go. La 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 la, let it burn. Let's go. La 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 la, let it burn. Burn, baby, burn.
Rainbow Six Siege X. Get free access starting June 10th.
But does Ford even know where he's at this point?
Oh, and now Jay dumped over the top rope. Remember, championship advantage goes to the Usos. You got to pin or submit to win the titles.
And as exhausted as Montez Ford is, he needs to be thinking about how to get an opponent back in the ring.
That's not what he's thinking.
Montez gonna fly! Holy! Say it!
Montez is feeling it right now. Could this be the moment?
Montez.
Pat, what did I tell you last night? What did I tell you last night? This match was gonna steal the show.
It felt like the Street Profits were ready to do.
From the heavens, Ford! Ford for the win! Cover to win the titles! Allen just breaking things up!
The sound you hear are hearts breaking around the globe. My God.
Look at this dude. Added 20 pounds of muscle and somehow added inches to his spirit. Montez Ford flying.
And then from the heavens, Montez got all of it. Picture perfect frog splash. But Jimmy Uso, at the last possible millisecond, keeps this one alive.
Talking about 1/8 of an inch there from Jason Ayers' left palm, and we got new champs. Holy hell.
This is wild.
Fight forever chance starting, and I'll tell you what, they might.
Get no argument from me.
Square.
How are these four men still standing up and staring down each other? And here we go! What a match!
What a moment.
Dawkins runs into a super kick.
Locked up. Whole body's locked up.
Driven into the timekeeper's area goes Dawkins. Meanwhile, inside the ring, Montez Ford in trouble. On the shoulders of Jey Uso.
Ford out the back door.
Tag.
I don't know if Montez realized that the Usos made the tag.
Kick made. Double super kick. Ford down.
And that means 1 and done.
What a match. The Usos retain.
Here are your winners. And still the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos.
Guys, I got goosebumps. That was incredible.
That's one of the greatest matches I've ever been lucky enough to be in an arena for.
No doubt about it. The WWE Universe will be buzzing about this one for a long time. This is, as the kids say, a banger.
This is raw, uncut, undiluted lucha libre. Órale, arriba la raza!
All 6 of these men introducing themselves to the world on the grand stage. Rana from the top. Aerostar again. Brio Dorado.
It's almost like everybody came to outdo each other.
Tornillo takes down everyone. This could end it all, Conan. Unbelievable, into the cover. Octagon Jr.
Yes! Hey, everybody out there wrestled their ass off. This is great, and we're just starting.
You know, WWE is headed back to Fanatics Fest, New York City, at the Javits Center from June 20th to the 22nd. It's the ultimate destination for sports fans and collectors, bringing the world's largest gathering of Hall of Fame athletes, WWE superstars, rare collectibles, and immersive sports experiences under one roof. Don't miss your chance to meet the incredible WWE lineup: The Undertaker, Charlotte Flair, Rey Mysterio, Bianca Belair, and more. Tickets are on sale now at fanaticsfest.com. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Inglewood, California, stone's throw from the LAX airport outside the Intuit Dome. This is the countdown to the Money in the Bank Premium Live event. Joining us, of course, Big E, former Money in the Bank winner. Cashed in to become a world champion. Former 5-time Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett is here tonight. And of course, a man who's had a very busy week. He is a soccer football coach.
Good man, thank you.
Concave, rolling.
And of course, from ESPN's Pat McAfee show, Pat McAfee. And we would like to send out a special shout out to a buddy of ours, even though he beat my Knicks, Tyrese Halliburton, watching us right now, live. Great shot, Tyrese, go get him.
Pacers in 6.
We'll see what happens.
Hey, look,
Thank
Michael
you.
Cole chant here as well. This man has been doing this a long
They
time.
want to see Michael Cole in the Pacers jersey again, showing off the guns.
Tyrese, I paid off my bet. We're done with that. Nonetheless,
Papa Pump himself.
How about how swole Cole was? Legit.
Yes.
He was jacked.
Yes.
Did you see him?
Yeah, I seen him in the gym.
Yeah, Cole.
getting it.
Swole Cole. Swole Cole. Swole Cole. Swole Cole.
Thank you. Listen, later on tonight, Lyra Valkyria will defend her Intercontinental Championship against Becky Lynch. Kathy Kelly had the chance to sit down with Lyra. Irish Goddess of War.
First ever women's Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria.
Lyra Valkyria, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down. I know you're in the midst of preparations of your title defense against Becky Lynch, but what a year you have had. It's been just over a year since your debut on the Raw roster. Queen of the Ring finalist, inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion, a massive WrestleMania moment. How has this year been for you?
I've had the perfect year. Made history, WrestleMania, dreams came true. It's just so crazy to me that the one thing that casts a shadow on all these dreams is that my friendship with Becky just completely blew up in my face. I always gave Becky the credit for being the inspiration, for being the reason that I wanted to become who I am, but I have to stop saying that now because everything I thought she was a lie. She was shadows and smoke this whole time, and all I can do now is step up and be everything that she's not.
Well, reflecting on your Raw debut, May 6th last year, ironically, helping out Becky Lynch. Who was Becky to you then?
You know, she was a different person to me then. She was someone that I thought would help me out back in NXT. She raised my hand for that title.
Going back to that emotional moment and embrace that you guys had after, to this year's Raw after WrestleMania, her turning on you. What do you think was the catalyst for that change?
I don't know. I don't think she changed at all. I think she just took off the mask she was wearing.
Well, your name has been in Becky Lynch's mouth quite a bit.
In just 3 weeks of standing on the outskirts of my spotlight, she has never mattered more than she does right now in her entire life, and it is not even close.
I don't think that's the flex she thinks it is. Yeah, everyone's talking about me because I beat the man twice. And she's so delusional, she's so narcissistic. I think she just wants to keep me down, and she wants to add this as an accessory to her collection of achievements.
Let's talk about the stipulation that was just added to your match.
If you can beat me, I will never challenge you for that title ever again. When I win, you have to look me in the eyes and raise my hand.
Are you gonna do that?
The only way I can beat Becky is by not being Becky, and Becky's proven she's not a woman of her word. I'm a woman of mine. If she beats me, I'll raise the bitch's hand.
Last question. What is more important to you right now? Lyra Valkyria winning and retaining, or Becky Lynch losing? Because I know that they sound like the same thing, but they're very different at their core.
I always thought that as long as I prove that I'm the better wrestler, I will feel satisfied. And I've beaten Becky twice, and I don't have that satisfaction because it's about so much more. I flew my family to Vegas, and they watched Becky turn on me. They watched her put me through the mat with 3 manhandle slams the day after WrestleMania. Fast forward to Backlash. She couldn't even keep it about me and her. She had to get in my fiance's face. And then when I did beat her, she tried to break my arm. She put me in the hospital for a week. I'm gonna make her pay for all that. I want her to feel the embarrassment, the pain. She took everything from me, or tried to. She hasn't taken this. This is about more than beating Becky. This is about embarrassing Becky. This is about shattering her ego. I have to see her lose everything.
Well, Lyra, thank you so much, and good luck in this match.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Money in the Bank is brought to you in part tonight by Papa John's. Order pizza and more for delivery tonight. Do they deliver to the bar? That is the biggest question of the evening. Nonetheless, very confident Lyra Valkyria, the Intercontinental Champion moments ago. Big E, one of the things that has really stood out to me over the past couple of months is each and every week, Lyra is just getting more confident in the ring, on the microphone. She seems to be believing in herself.
Absolutely, and I think she has in many ways the perfect foil to her. You know, to have this woman in Becky Lynch from her home country who has broken through so many barriers and through so many doors. I think that Becky has brought the very best out of her. And I don't know if Lyra is this comfortable and in this position if it wasn't for that perfect foil. And I've said this for the last several months, I've been so impressed with the comfort she's had on the mic, with the way she carries herself. It is very easy to feel overshadowed, to be intimidated by the star power of someone like Becky Lynch, and we haven't seen that from Lyra.
And why do you think that is, Wade? I mean, Becky Lynch, of course, you know, one of the all-time greats, and Lyra standing toe-to-toe. In fact, their match at Backlash, I said it, I thought it was the match of the night, and probably have another one here again tonight. Why is Lyra not intimidated by this woman?
Well, I'll agree with what Big E said. I think Becky Lynch has been vital for Lyra to stepping up to this new level. Why that is, sometimes you get a certain comfortability with a fellow countryman or countrywoman that you don't get outside of that. And I'll tell you, as a European who came over here, I was initially intimidated competing against the Americans. Guess what? When you grow up as a kid in England, you watch all the Americans. The stars are the Americans. You assume they are somehow better than we are as Brits. It takes a while to get over that hump, and I think Lyra competing against a fellow Dubliner doesn't have that natural fear factor, and she's...
Now, Pat, on the flip side of things, we've been following this story. Becky Lynch, to me, looks like she's the one that doesn't have confidence now, because she's never beaten Lyra. She's lost to her on 2 separate occasions. It's Becky, I believe, that's suffering this crisis of confidence now.
Yeah, and you could obviously see all the emotions pouring out of the man every time she has a microphone, and she's starting to get a little bit jaded towards the WWE Universe and how they're treating her as a future WWE Hall of Famer, as a trailblazer. And for Lyra Valkyria, you know, when your idols become your rivals, it's a wild time. And you can either continue to let the idols run the show, or you can look in the mirror and say, it was their time then, it's my time now. And I think that's what Lyra Valkyria has done. You hear the confidence. You see what she does in the ring. I think she's sick of looking up at Becky Lynch, and I think she wants all of Ireland in all of the WWE universe to know that the Irish woman that's about to take WWE to new heights is Lyra, not Becky. That's a tall task, though, with the man in there.
And Wade, Becky's feeling the pressure because she put a stipulation on this match that if she does not win tonight, she'll never get another opportunity at the championship as long as Lyra holds on to it. That's a bold statement.
Yeah, I think Becky Lynch has realized that the Lyra she's dealing with right now, as you mentioned, has changed massively over the past 3 months. I think at Backlash, Becky Lynch, for once, completely underestimated her opponent. That's not going to be a problem this time around. We're going to see the absolute best of Becky Lynch tonight, and I believe Becky Lynch will be winning gold.
Big E, but if Becky wins, she is going to force Lyra Valkyria to do something pretty embarrassing. She's going to force Lyra to hold her hand in the air.
Absolutely. Look, for Becky, winning the title is not enough. I think she wants to humble Lyra. I think she wants to essentially the message is, you would not be here without me. I gave you the rub in NXT. I'm giving you the rub on the main roster. She wants to show her that I am the woman who gives you and opens the doors, who gives you the opportunities. All this is because of me. So I think winning is not going to be enough for Becky. I think making that point that that is very true. I think making that point is vitally important to Becky here tonight.
So let's go around the horn real quickly, starting with you, Pat. Who wins this thing tonight?
Oh, I'm a non-biased commentator, so I'm hoping for a really good match for the WWE Universe.
Ugh. Horrible answer, Pat. You're doing PR all of a sudden. That ain't your normal game.
All right, I'm a The Man supporter. The Man is my wife's favorite WWE superstar of all time. So at the house, this is going to be a little bit tough, but give me the new guard taking down the old guard, especially from Ireland. Give me Lyra Valkyria.
Much better answer. I don't like fence sitters. I appreciate that. For me, though, I think Big Time Bex comes out to play. This evening, we're getting a new Women's Intercontinental Champion. Lyra Valkyria will be raising her rival's hand.
And I agree, this is a home game for Hollywood Bex. I think she's going to be well rested. She's rolling out of her own bed. I think she wins tonight and is your new Women's Intercontinental Champion.
As much as it pains me to agree with Wade Barrett, I, however, agree with Wade and Big E. I think Lyra loses the championship tonight to Becky Lynch.
The Man has come back around. Is that what you said? I love Becky Lynch. So damn great at WWE. Lyra's looked up to her whole life. Big time match, good for Lyra.
You're getting emotional here.
It's good. It's the future of the business, bro.
I see. I get it.
And I'm an Irishman, you know, deep down at heart.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get back into everything for Money in the Bank in just a moment. You know, earlier this year, the Los Angeles wildfires devastated the region and community. Since then, organizations across the city have been working to support community members and rebuild ahead of tonight's Money in the Bank. WWE is proud to recognize two nonprofit organizations as community champions. These organizations are Dream Center Los Angeles and Los Angeles' Firemen's Relief Association.
Thank you.
Ahead of Money in the Bank, WWE is proud to champion the nonprofits across Los Angeles supporting wildfire relief efforts. Superstars visited the Los Angeles Firemen's Relief Association to meet with first responders from the front lines of the fires. They also visited the Dream Center to meet with the affected families, including the Thomas family, who lost their home and school in the blaze. In honor of their fortitude, join WWE in celebrating the newest community champions and uplifting the resilient community of Los Angeles.
I will say I got to spend some time at the Dream Center with some of the most wonderful people I've ever met. The work that they have done for the people in this community that have lost their homes because of the fires, truly incredible. To see, yes, absolutely give it up for them. To see the amount of clothes that were given out, to see we were handing out checks of $400 left and right to people in need who had lost everything. The work they do at the Dream Center is truly incredible. Kathy Kelly, CM Punk, and I got to just spend a few hours with you wonderful people and the work you do. So I want to give it up, and please put your hands together for the Dream Center in LA for all the incredible work that they do for the people here in LA.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
Thank you, guys.
There he is.
Oh, look who it is.
Holy hell.
Relax, Wade.
I'm tingling. My loins are tingling. Yeah. All righty.
Get a selfie, Wade.
What a mark.
I would have done the same thing.
Fun.
Let me talk to you. Actually, I'm gonna bring it down for just a second, because right now, it ain't about me. It's about these people over here right now. So I wanna go ahead and meet y'all one by one. What's your name, my friend?
My name is DJ.
DJ, nice to meet you, DJ. You are?
Cayenne.
What is it?
Cayenne.
Is it Corianne? Cayenne.
Like the pepper.
Spicy. Yeah, that's what I like about you. All right, nice to meet you.
I'm Barbara.
Barbara? That's my mom's name. Very nice to meet you, Barbara. Yeah. Pierre?
Yeah.
Pierre. Okay, very nice to meet you. Okay, now look. I didn't come out here empty-handed. I didn't come out here with nothing. I understand that today, it's all about you all having some fun today, right? Huh? Yeah. So I got a little something here. I'll tell you what. Cayenne, since you're the spicy one, I'm going to hand this one off to you. That's you, but this is for everybody. Everybody here holding this WWE Championship, this is our gift to you. But I tell you what, you tell me, and don't tell me just because I'm standing in front of you, who's your favorite WWE superstar?
I like CM Punk.
CM Punk? That's a fair answer. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Take it back.
Fair answer.
Take the belt back.
I have no problem with that. Here's what I'm going to do for you, Cayenne. Here's what I'm going to do. If we can, this is a WWE belt. It's got the WWE side plates on it right here. I was going to go ahead and say let's get some LA Knight side plates on it, but why don't I go ahead and take care of it? We get some CM Punk side plates on it here for my boy Cayenne. Can we do that at some point? Make sure he gets those. I'll take care of it if I need to. Very nice to meet y'all. I hope y'all have the time of your lives tonight. It is Money in the Bank. Cayenne, you're my man. Yeah. Watch yourself, Pat.
Yeah.
And it is Money in the Bank right here. It is my game. We are in LA with everybody saying, yeah.
Well, good luck in Money in the Bank. Congratulations to everybody who volunteered and have helped out. And we are here at the countdown to the Money in the Bank show live in Los Angeles. Pat, Wade, and I are going to head out to ringside to get set for the PLE. Vic Joseph, Peter Rosenberg, and Big E take us the rest of the way live.
Legado del Fantasma ready for battle with El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., Psycho Clown, and Pagano. And here we go!
Take advantage of tonight to make an impression on the fans, make an impression on the wrestling world, and make an impression on WWE.
My advice to everyone watching, don't blink. You just may miss something spectacular. Escobar with a knee. Up goes Wagner. Down goes Wagner. Phantom driver. Will this do it? It does.
Hey, man, I got to give it to them. They were in rare form. None of them wanted to lose, but finally, Santos came out on top.
Is this where Ripley disposes of the threat known as the Queen, all the way from the top?
Charlotte attacking Ripley's knee. Charlotte now from the top.
The Queen all alone.
Oh, natural selection to the cover.
No! Did you get her?
No! Ripley kicked out. Rhea Ripley is still the champion. Rhea Ripley kicked out.
Almost everyone here in complete shock I was sure that was 3.
So was Charlotte Flair and everybody in this building spiking the champion. 1, 2. Rhea Ripley kicked out. And Charlotte Flair is everyone in the building and around the world.
Milliseconds, nanoseconds away from a title change.
We all echo the sentiments of Fort Worth, Texas. This is indeed awesome. This is for the Raw Women's Championship. The Queen versus the Nightmare, and it's time to go to school.
Hook the knee. Not gonna happen yet.
Flair landing hard on the back of her neck, might have caught the base of her skull on the turnbuckle.
Right at Rhea Ripley, despite all the punishment she's received, still having the wherewithal.
Yeah, but the Queen is hurt badly on the outside. Equal parts frustration and pain. Charlotte Flair is in jeopardy.
Rhea Ripley taking the time to wake herself up. She knows this is her chance. She has the Queen. Oh!
My God, Ripley! Skull first into the ring post.
Ripley's out. Ripley's out.
No.
Oh, no.
Look at that.
No, don't. Oh! Again!
Charlotte's gonna get herself disqualified.
Crushing Rhea Ripley's left knee with the stairs and the ring post.
Like a shark smelling blood. Now Flair right back to the knee. Tied up in the figure 4.
Tonight, the Great White is the Queen.
Rhea Ripley is in agony.
How much can Ripley hold on?
There might only be one way out.
How much can Ripley take?
Look how deep the bridge is. The figure 8 is in.
That's it.
A new champion.
There was one way out, and that was to submit.
And the new Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair.
Wow. It took everything Charlotte Flair had, but it's all worth it. She is champ yet again.
And the statement you just made, Jimmy, is all that matters to the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Once again, reclaiming her throne as the Raw Women's Champion.
Well, Worlds Collide started our day here in Los Angeles, where 20 years ago, WrestleMania 21, the first Money in the Bank ladder match took place. Countdown to Money in the Bank is presented by Cricket. With fast and powerful nationwide 5G coverage, you can stress less and smile more. The question will be, who will have a smile on their face? Will it be the former Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley, competing in her first Women's Money in the Bank ladder match? She has done just about everything there is to do in the WWE, but has never been Miss Money in the Bank. Or could it be the newest signee to Monday Night Raw, the Dark Angel, who competed earlier at Worlds Collide? Former NXT Women's Champion Stephanie Vaquer could be Miss Money in the Bank. Former 5-time Women's Champion Alexa Bliss looking to repeat history. Can she do it again? Can Bliss become a 2-time Money in the Bank winner? One woman who has been a history maker is Roxanne Perez. From NXT to Monday Night Raw, can she go from prodigy to Miss Money in the Bank? The field also features Naomi, and when it comes to experience, she has the advantage, competing in her record-tying 5th Money in the Bank ladder match. But there's also the beautiful Madness Julia. One of these women will alter their career tonight here in Los Angeles at Money in the Bank, as the WWE Universe is filing in to the state-of-the-art Intuit Dome here in Los Angeles. Want to welcome you, and I'm Vic Joseph, voice of NXT, being joined right now by a former champion here in the WWE. I don't think you get enough recognition for that.
You know, I think you're so right. No one talks about my 22-hour title reign. It's a good point.
Well, also, you are the voice of WWE Evolve.
Yes, WWE Evolve every single Wednesday night, 8 o'clock on Tubi. We just crowned our inaugural men's and women's champions over the last couple of weeks, but excited to be with you, Vic.
Well, I'm very excited to be here with you, but we have a lot to get into tonight. Big E's going to be joining us, I believe, at some point. But let's go ahead and talk about something that happened last night with the one and only, that being Rey Mysterio. As Rey Mysterio made his presence felt earlier today at Worlds Collide, it was last night Mysterio received the Sports Impact Award from the National Hispanic Media Coalition. He was honored as an inspiration to the Hispanic community. What a night it was for the master of the 619. Congratulations to WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio. And honestly, is there anyone better than Rey Mysterio?
No, he is the man, and when you think about how important he is just down the road in San Diego, how important he is to our Latino fans and all of our fans, but particularly a celebration today, of course, with AAA's WWE debut at Worlds Collide. He started off that show as well. No, he's the man and the perfect guy to be a huge part of today.
And that happened just right down the road at the Kia Forum, but we are here inside the Intuit Dome, and it is Money in the Bank. Let's talk about that women's Money in the Bank ladder match, because I'm looking at the list, I don't remember a more unpredictable field than what we're going to have here tonight in Los Angeles.
You're completely right, and I'll tell you why. First of all, Alexa Bliss is a former winner, right? Her and Naomi are the only two competitors with actual history in a Money in the Bank ladder match. And then the person who you would normally make the favorite every time, Rhea Ripley, has zero experience. I talked to Rhea earlier today, and she expressed some actual nerves about this match. And I was like, but you've done everything.
WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, you name it, she's done it.
And she said, but I haven't done this. So the person who you would normally instantly make the favorite is at a bit of a disadvantage. And then, of course, you talk about the three young superstars in Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Roxanne Perez, who's been incredibly hot, right? But also such a complex dynamic between the three of those women. So you're right, it's a completely unpredictable women's field today.
Well, you know, you talk about I've had the opportunity to watch them from NXT, but I will say this to you real quick and get your point on it. Do you think Bliss and Naomi, having been in this match, have an advantage?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, experience is such a big part of it, especially in a match like this, which has so many different variables, because there are 6 competitors, but there's a 7th competitor that really is everything, and that is the ladder.
It's true,
It is such a huge part of this match. So if you haven't taken those bumps, fallen off those ladders, felt that metal hit your flesh, yeah, I think you are at a disadvantage.
Well, one of those women will be Miss Money in the Bank by the end of the night. But right now, let's go join Byron Saxton.
What is up, guys? I'm here in the Cricket Fan Zone here at Money in the Bank in lovely Los Angeles, where all the energy, all the party, everyone, the anticipation is just building for tonight, because we know it's going to happen. You hear the fans in the background. 2 superstars will climb that ladder. They'll grab this briefcase. It'll be a little larger than this one. They will grab the contract that will change their championship life. However, I pride myself on having my finger on the pulse of fan scuttlebutt here in WWE. So therefore, I'm going to go to the fans to get some predictions here. Now, you guys were just talking about the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, so I'm going to come to this young lady here. What's your name?
Frida.
Frida, who is going to become the winner of the women's Money in the Bank ladder match?
I think it's going to be Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley, that's a solid choice. I appreciate that. You, sir, what's your name?
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, how about the men's Money in the Bank ladder match? Who do you want to see grab that briefcase?
Penta.
Penta. We got plenty of Penta fans. You're wearing the Yeet shirt, sir. What's your name?
Gabriel.
And who do you want to see win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match?
LA Knight.
LA Knight. Yeah. Okay, we got one more. What's your name?
Hunter.
Okay, and tell me, who do you think is going to win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match?
Of course, LA Knight.
Of course, LA Knight. So LA Knight seems to be the favorite. He's been there before. He's tried before. But could this be the night for LA Knight? A lot of people are saying. Okay, that's a word from the fan zone. Back to you guys on the panel.
Well, you know, you got some predictions there. You had some good reasoning. Byron Saxton, by the way, always does a phenomenal job. You know, shout out to
He had a
Byron
hell of a
Saxton.
day, though, by the way.
He didn't get his eggs, right?
He only had 6 of his 12 eggs. That's a tough day, but you see him still powering
He still
through.
went out there and did what he needed to do. I need to get a prediction from you, because we just heard predictions from the WWE Universe that's filing into the Intuit Dome. Who do you think is going to climb the ladder
retrieve the briefcase, and get that guaranteed championship contract.
I don't know what it is. I just think Roxanne Perez has been on one recently. And I mentioned this earlier to Kathy Kelly.
Fair enough.
It's like Tyrese Halliburton in these NBA playoffs. You know, when players get into a certain zone, athletes get into a certain place, it seems like everything just gets easy. The game has slowed down. For as young as Roxanne is, and she's been doing this for a long time, coming up under Booker T at Reality of Wrestling, building her way to become an NXT star, I just feel she's poised for this moment. I'm feeling Roxanne Perez.
Well, we will find out who will be Miss Money in the Bank here tonight in Los Angeles. But look, there's 6 men. There's 6 women. They're all going to be competing in the ring behind us in that Money in the Bank ladder match. And they're going to be looking to use every ounce of creativity and innovation in their bodies to punish their opponents and come away with the Money in the Bank contract. And it only makes sense that the location for this breathtaking ladder match is right here in the Intuit Dome. Marvel born out of the desire to use creativity and innovation to design an arena unlike any other.
Los Angeles, a mecca of film, television, and of course, sports. And a key part of this entertainment ecosystem is the Intuit Dome, home of the NBA's LA Clippers. Opening its doors less than a year ago in August of 24, the Intuit Dome is one of the most futuristic arenas in the world, creating an unmatched, immersive experience for nearly 18,000 fans.
This place is remarkable. It is beautiful.
Tonight, the Intuit Dome hosts Money in the Bank, but it won't be WWE's first event here. The historic Raw on Netflix debut came from this arena back in January.
All of you are being seen and heard by the entire globe.
And of course, ever the innovators, WWE was eager to explore the Intuit Dome's advanced technology, integrating the lights and the lasers that are located at every single seat into unforgettable superstar entrances, utilizing the largest double-sided halo display in arena at nearly 1 acre, the equivalent of over 3,500 60-inch televisions, 233 million LEDs.
This place is made out of laser lights, it looks like.
But it wasn't just in-house innovations that made the Raw on Netflix premiere so memorable. True to form, WWE brought its own flair, beginning the evening with the iconic Kabuki drop. And for the rest of the night, fans had to keep their eyes on the skies, with multiple drones and even a blimp capturing footage both inside and outside the dome.
This is the craziest thing I've been a part of for 28 years.
As the WWE and the Intuit Dome team up once again to deliver another best-in-class experience, what surprises will this futuristic live event partnership bring us tonight?
Well, the WWE Universe is fired up as they file into the Intuit Dome. There are the briefcases, which hold a guaranteed championship contract. Who will climb the ladder? Who will change the course of their career? We're going to find out tonight. The question earlier, who would walk out of Worlds Collide? The AAA Mega Champion.
We're about to see a very interesting clash of styles. It's WWE versus AAA for the Mega Championship. Good
Beautiful.
God! Oh
That
my
was
God!
beautiful.
Oh! Running shooting star, but I think Gable got the knees up.
He's in total control, and that shows how fast things can change in a match.
Code breaker out of the air. And this is becoming a test of wills, Conan. Who's got more left in the tank? Moonsault through the table!
Oh, incredible!
Gable is down.
630.
For the Mega title to retain.
Yeah! Triple A, Triple A.
What a battle.
Welcome to the official Riyadh season opening ceremony 2024.
live at the Scotiabank Arena, jam-packed and sold out tonight for Money in the Bank.
The goal is always to be the best, make it to the top. But tell me, do you have what it takes to get there? From putting in the 100,000 to infinite hours, missing the meals and them showers, planting the seeds for the mission to blossom in the flowers. Only concern was every obstacle getting devoured, setting goals, never selling
Drew
souls.
McIntyre is Mr. Money in the Bank. Brutality versus bravery. Sami Zayn defends the Intercontinental Championship against Braun Breaker.
The product of 100,000 hours. I'm built for this. Never concerned with them giving me flowers. I'm built for this.
With all of Canada behind him, hello my cat!
We're going to the top. I'm built for this. That motion is non-stop. I'm built for this. So what's the next step? I'm built for this. Gotta show who's the best. I'm built for this.
Somebody get the damn paramedics!
Never concerned with them giving me flowers. I'm built for this.
It is Tiffy time! Miss Money in the Bank!
The following is a six-man tag team match.
It's going to be a flat-out war.
This is a fight. This is a battle. This is going to be ugly and brutal and personal.
Oh my God, the official's dead. Through the damn table! RKO! Jacob Fatu wipes out Cody. The Samoan spike. The bloodline dominant. Seth freaking Rollins fights to win back the heavyweight championship from the helm of the Judgment Day. Damian Priest.
You want to get in here, end this match as quickly as possible.
Mr. Money in the Bank, Drew McIntyre. He's going to cash in. Only the second time in history a cash-in's become a triple threat. McIntyre runs into a clothesline.
Yeah, the pressure is rising, but please come out. What?
What the hell? Oh my God! The CM Punk! Punk with a steel chair is destroying McIntyre.
Pay the price.
CM Punk has screwed Drew McIntyre again. Rollins is collateral damage in all this.
This year marks the 20th anniversary of the Money in the Bank ladder match. And we are back where it all began, as the inaugural match was held just down the road at WrestleMania 21 in 2005. Los Angeles. Don't let the bright lights distract you, because it's that time again for the numbers to take center stage. 6 men and 6 women compete in 2 separate matches, all with one goal: seize the Money in the Bank contract, earning themselves a championship match anytime, any place, for up to 1 year. While 238 total competitors have entered the match, only 33 individuals have won, meaning a mere 14% of those who put it all on the line walked out with the briefcase in hand. The biggest asset and obstacle to coming down with the contract in tow is the ladders. Over the years, various superstars have used roughly 430 ladders to ascend towards their goal, or force their opponents to descend violently. Of the 25 men who have cashed in, 19 pulled it off, succeeding on 76% of their cash-in attempts. And the women are an astounding 8 for 8, a flawless 100% success rate, a virtual guarantee to become champion. Now, before the curtain rises, can we have a drum roll, please? Here are our contenders for Mr. and Miss Money in the Bank. The visionary Seth Rollins, the only superstar on the men's side to win the contract before, and the first ever to cash in on the grandest stage of them all. There's only one woman in the field who's managed to win the match as well. 7 years ago, Alexa Bliss seized the contract and wasted no time cashing in just 2 hours later. In front of over 15,000 at the Intuit Dome, can local hero get everybody saying, Mr. Money in the Bank? Yeah! Rhea Ripley has already spent 532 days in WWE with a world title in hand. Will Mommy find her way to the top of the ladder?
Because Mommy is always on top.
5 members of the Anoa'i dynasty have been world champion before. Can Solo Sikoa add more lore to his family heritage at Money in the Bank? And for Andrade, will the third time be the charm? Could 2025 finally be the year of El Idolo? But are we looking at another woman's revolution in WWE? Julia, Roxanne Perez, and Stephanie Vaquer have only been part of the main roster a combined 50 days. Can the beautiful madness, the prodigy, or the dark angel become Miss Money in the Bank in record time? One thing is for certain, as you enter this treacherous territory, you should
proceed with caution.
Especially when you're dealing with the likes of Naomi, who this year will tie the women's record with her 5th appearance in the Money in the Bank ladder match. But you can take that caution and throw it to the wind as far as Penta is concerned. This high-flying luchador already has a unique advantage, because in this kind of dangerous matchup, you need to have... And lastly, El Grande.
Excuse me, por favor, allow me. Thanks to the support and adulation of his millions and millions of fans around the globe, there is no one more deserving of becoming el señor dinero en el banco than the radiant soul of lucha libre, El Grande Americano.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Los Angeles awaits this year's Money in the Bank. 12 superstars all looking to come down with that life-changing contract. Who stands tall when the curtain falls as the 2025 Mr. and Miss Money in the Bank?
Well, the numbers certainly do not lie, and it's almost time for careers to change here in the City of Angels. But right now, it's time to hear from Kathy Kelly.
Yeah, Vic, the fans are filing into Intuit Dome, and the ladders are feeling very secure. It almost makes me want to climb them, but I am wearing heels right now. These ladders feeling very sturdy, but it's a little bit less sturdy when you have 5 other competitors also trying to climb them at the same time. We've talked about for this last month as we geared up for Money in the Bank that this is the match that can launch a career. It can also change the entire power dynamic of WWE. So the question is, who will be the first to climb to the top and secure that briefcase? I mean, we are moments away from that happening, so I'm going to send it back up to you guys.
Well, thank you very much, Kathy. Just over 11 minutes until Money in the Bank will officially begin. And look who is here. It is Big E.
You're too kind. You're too kind. I appreciate it. I made it. Took me a minute, but I'm here.
You're here now. I do want to say, I give you a lot of credit for not taking off your jacket and whining like Wade Barrett. It just proves your toughness, which is why you are a former WWE champion and Wade Barrett only is in 2K.
Wow, your words, not mine.
An IC champion he was.
Oh yeah, 5-time, king of the ring as well, but not
the big one.
Not a man who has climbed this ladder, retrieved that briefcase. You did that back in 2021. We're going to talk about Worlds Collide here in just a moment, but I want to ask you a few questions. We talked about the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Do you think there is an advantage for Naomi and Alexa Bliss, who have already competed in this style of match.
No, definitely so. Look, I think when you're in that match for the first time, you're not really used to the amount of bodies that are flying everywhere. There are ladders. I'm telling you, this match scares me more than any other. I think back to this was many years ago, but I think back to Joey Mercury having his nose essentially exploded. I tell you, this is a very, very dangerous match, and when you're not used to the chaos, the ladders, the bodies, you go in not knowing what to expect. A lot of people are going to leave this match with a piece of themselves in that ring tonight. They're going to leave forever. It is a brutal match. It is a physical match. And the thing, too, is there's so much pressure because there's so many eyes on this match.
Oh, yeah.
People are trying to show out. People are trying to have their very best performances. They're taking risks that ordinarily they would never take. So I think definitely having that advantage of knowing what it's like to be in that match gives you an opportunity to really take a lay of the land going into subsequent matches.
Yeah, I want to build on that for a second because we were talking about also Rhea Ripley has never competed in a ladder match ever.
Which is hard to believe.
In her career.
Yeah.
Ever in her career. You have the women from NXT, Julia, Roxanne Perez, those women, Stephanie McCare, have never competed in this sort of matchup. If they were to come up to you and say, what can we expect? What would your answer be?
Expect to be in pain. Expect to be
from the actual ladder. The pain
from the
of that
ladder. Yes, the ladder, absolutely. But you have to be willing to put your body on the line in ways that you ordinarily wouldn't. And I think that's the biggest difference is know that you have to be able to essentially risk it all. If you want to walk out with that briefcase, be ready to give all of yourself here tonight.
The party getting ready to start here in Los Angeles. But earlier, it was Worlds Collide, Kia Forum. It was a huge, massive event. A lot of news came out of that, though.
A lot of news came out. I don't know if you've heard yet, but Dominic Mysterio felt the need. He couldn't just sit at ringside with his girlfriend and enjoy the night. He had to get involved. He had to talk trash to Octagon Jr. And now Adam Pearce has informed us that Dominic Mysterio will defend that Intercontinental Championship tonight against Octagon Jr., who has an illustrious AAA career.
Look, man, I'm excited. We've talked many times over the last several months about the rise of Dominic Mysterio, about the Dom that I saw in the Thunderdome era several years ago, and seeing his growth now. He's someone I don't think is afraid of anyone. He wants to take on all challengers for better or worse. I think Octagon Jr. is going to put on a show tonight, make a lot of new fans, and we'll see if Dom is able to walk out as champion.
Oh, you can hear the reaction behind us, the man with the powerful biceps. I don't think enough people are talking about Michael Cole's double bi pose he hit on Monday Night Raw.
I could not believe he wore that McConnell jersey for as long as he did. Michael Cole, you are a brave man. There's not enough money to get me in a tank top on television, Big E.
Look, I've seen Cole in the gym. He's been working.
No, he's been
working.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know this, guys. He's undefeated at WrestleMania.
Oh, he'll let you know.
He'll let you know
undefeated in rap competitions, undefeated in dance battles. Michael Cole, greatest of all time. But let's talk about again here and now tonight. What match, Peter, are you most looking forward to see?
It's a great question. Obviously, both ladder matches are incredibly intriguing. But I am very intrigued by that tag match. I am incredibly interested in seeing how Logan Paul and John Cena get along when the bell actually rings. We see how John Cena has found this camaraderie with Logan Paul, words I never thought I'd be saying on WWE television.
That's true, too.
But will it actually work out when the bell rings? Because guess what? We know how Jay and Cody get down.
Yeah.
They have the relationship. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And look, I think there's so much on the line as well with that match, not just with the participants, but I think of that Karrion Kross promo where he talked about the guys like him who have wanted this since day one, who have grinded on the indies, who are wrestlers, who are here week in and week out. I think that Cody and Jay winning is a win for the locker room. It's a win for professional wrestlers. It's a win for people who believe in the grind, who want to say that if this is my dream, that if I start from day one working on my craft and honing my craft and love pro wrestling, that one day I can be at the top of the card. That's what a win from Jay and Cody means. It's a win for the locker room. And I think a win on the other side is a win for more part-timers. It's a win for Hollywood. It's a win for a direction that I think a lot of hardcore fans aren't necessarily fond of. So I think there could be a real seat change with that match. I think it's a real harbinger of potentially things to come with the direction of this company as a whole.
That's very interesting points you bring up because John Cena has said he wants to ruin wrestling. He's trying to continue that mission here tonight with his Maverick by his side, Logan Paul. Wade Barrett, by the way, has competed in the Money in the Bank match. He said he was always so close, he wished he was able to pull and retrieve that briefcase, much like Big E did. But here comes another man, and Michael Cole put it perfectly. Whenever he opens his mouth, he puts money in his own bank. Pat McAfee, let's go.
Absolutely. Look, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the match that I was looking forward to the most. And I have to say, that women's Money in the Bank match is stacked. I think for so long we've talked about the 4 horsewomen in wrestling. The fact that we don't have any of them represented in this match, and we're talking about the direction of women's wrestling in WWE. I love this new crop of women that have come up from NXT. I love what Julia's bringing to the table, what Stephanie's bringing to the table, but also let's not sleep on someone like Naomi. She is my pick. She's someone I've known the entirety of my career. 16 years ago at FCW in Tampa, she was there. She's been doing this a very long time.
And by the way, she's now doing the best work of her career.
Yes.
That's the amazing thing about Naomi. That's the amazing thing about this business. There are people who have done such great things, and then all of a sudden, when you think they could be faded, they find that next gear.
Yeah.
And you talked about the 4 horsewomen. I sort of get the feeling when you see the young women in this match, Julia, Stephanie, and Roxanne, maybe they're the big 3. This is a new crop that seem to be taking over the business.
Sorry, Liz, and then we talk about the women's Money in the Bank match. Let's talk about the men's Money in the Bank match. You have guys in there like LA Knight, who has tried to climb the ladder. You have Seth Rollins, who has won it, had some say the greatest cash-in of all time. You have Solo Sikoa, you have El Grande Americano. I mean, that field is
promising
stacked
young
as well.
star. El Grande Americano.
Yeah, very young. It's hard not to.
I'm happy for him. He's getting a shot, you know?
Yeah, very, very happy for him. It's hard not to put all my money on Seth Rollins. I think he's the clear favorite. But man, honestly, my choice is LA Knight. I think of a guy who has quietly racked up wins over the last 6 months. He's done an incredible job. He has so much momentum.
But he better do it. He better. It's his 3rd time, guys.
It is.
You're not going to get these chances forever. And also, let's not sleep on Penta. If anyone has home court, home field advantage in this kind of match,
That's
probably
great point.
Penta.
Yep.
That is a great point for that entire field. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match, the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, not to mention the tag team matchup you talked about, the Intercontinental Championship match you talked about, and also the women's Intercontinental Championship match. Becky Lynch has done everything in this business except one thing: beat Lyra Valkyria.
Can you believe that?
One-on-one.
It's 2 country women going at it. That could steal the night, by the way.
Absolutely.
That match could
Absolutely.
steal the night.
Yep.
Well, it's a huge night here in Los Angeles. Money in the Bank, the Intuit Dome is filling up. And when it comes to tonight, we will be back after our main event for the post-show here following Money in the Bank, which starts right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome international performing artist and top 5 finalist from The Voice, Victor Solomon!
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
This is Los Angeles, California. Venues across the city.